Hi, this is Jacob with RemoveVirus.org, and today we're going to be taking a look at how to remove Best Malware Protection. Now, Best Malware Protection is a fake security client, and we're doing this on a Windows XP computer. We also do have a Windows 7/Vista video as well as guide on the RemoveVirus.org website. So if you have Vista or Windows 7, I highly suggest you go ahead and watch that video over on the RemoveVirus.org website under the Best Malware Protection Removal Guide. Now stated, this is a false security client, which basically means it's going to show up with these warnings in here, and these warnings are all false. They're just made to scare and trick the user into making a purchase, and it's not anything new. Like I said, this is a clone of several other threats out there. This is one of the warnings that pop up, and if you have your volume turned up loud, you will hear that loud pitch squeal that comes on. And yeah, that scared me more than once. Yes, continue unprotected. Now, in order to remove this threat, what we really have to do is we have to stop the main executable from running, which is this program right here. And once we're able to stop that executable, we can then delete that executable, and then you'll be able to use your antivirus client to go ahead and scan your computer to make sure you're not infected with anything else. In most cases, people who are infected with one of these rogue application clients are actually infected with several other Trojans or another virus or some other traces of something. So that's why it's so important to run an antivirus scan when you're done. We recommend you go ahead and run it with either StopZilla or else SpyroDoctor with antivirus, and both of those can be downloaded on the RemoveVirus.org website too as well. So in order to stop this threat, there's a couple different ways we're going to show you, and one of them is actually bringing up the task manager, and some people will be able to, others will have it disabled. Go ahead and hold down Control-Shift-Escape, and that'll bring up the task manager. And you may be under Applications. Go ahead and jump over to Process. And under Processes, this is the actual threat that we're looking at. It's BM77_2324.exe. Now yours will be a random number. It won't be named this exactly, but it'll follow this naming pattern. In some way, it'll be very, very close. I know that 77 seems to be in a lot of the files, and it'll look very, very similar to this. And one thing you can do is just go ahead and hit End Process, and what it'll do is actually end this program from running. And at that point in time, you can run your antivirus scan or whatnot. However, it's not deleted yet, so I'd highly recommend you go ahead and delete it right away. And we'll show you where that trace is located, so you can delete it or else rename it, which is also a really, really good way of stopping this client from running. So a couple ways of doing that is we can go ahead and click the Windows Start button, hit Run, and then type in msconfig. Again, that's going to be msconfig. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. And so what that's going to do is it's going to open up a dialog box for us, and then we're going to select the Startup tab. Now under the Startup tab here, and you'll probably have 20 or 30 boxes in here. We're going to see there's the file again for us. And so if you're unable to get the task manager up, this is another great way to look at it. And what it'll do is you can actually see the full file path of where this threat is located. And basically, what we have to do is we have to browse down to this file location and remove it. If you're unable to bring up the startup menu, you can just browse down to this location where we're showing you all users' application data, and then the 77 folder right here will be named something different, but it'll be along the same lines. Another quick tidbit of finding it is if we hover over all programs, Best Malware Protection, if we hover over it, it shows the exact file location, which is really nice, folder location of it. And some of you will also have it running here in the startup tray, and so what you can do from there is right click on it and go to Properties. And this is perhaps the fastest way of getting in there. It shows you exactly where it's at. So what you can do is you can, excluding the executable, which is the .exe, we can go ahead and copy in that full path without the quotes and just paste that right on in. Let's go up to my computer. Let's paste it in here. And that took me right in there, which is really nice. And we have to delete everything in here. Now, a few other things that of finding this. So this is the path. Basically, it's under Application Data folder. So if you're going to browse to that, you can go to My Computer, C Drive, Documents and Settings, All Users, and I should point out that this threat will most likely mutate over time, so it may be under your user account name. In this case, I have my name down as SDF. Now we want to go into the application data folder. Now look, you can't see the application data folder there, can you? But it's there, it's just hidden. So what we need to do is go to Tools, Folder Options. Under Folder Options, go to View, and then Show Hidden Files and Folders, and go ahead and hit Apply. And I'm going to leave this window open here, just because I know I'm going to need my folder options again here in just a second. Oh, it's not going to let me. Okay. So I'm going to go under Application Data, click on it. Now that I'm under Application Data, this is the folder in which this threat is going to be under, or at least should be under. And I don't see that 77B83 folder. Now, granted, yours will be named something different, but what you have to do is they actually have it hidden again. So not only is it, let's go under here, Folder Options, View, and we already showed hidden files and folders, which when we're done, you can come back here and don't hit Show Hidden Files and Folders, just hit OK again. But what we have to do is we actually have to go down here and uncheck this box right here, Hide Protected Operating System Files, which in most cases you want to do. You want to hide them so you don't accidentally delete important files. But in this case, this threat is actually hiding in there. It's doing that so it makes it a lot harder for you to browse down that file location and actually delete it. So here it is, right here. Now, because yours is a random folder, you may not know exactly which folder it is, and it should follow something along this path and very similar to what I would do is I'd go under View, and let's go ahead and show Details. And when we click on Details, what we can do is we can actually see it by the date modified. And it's what you want to do is you want to look at the date you actually had this file on here, or the day you thought you got infected, right? So, which is today's April 3rd of 2011, and there it is, April 3rd of 2011. And that's just another way to help you identify what that file is. Now, we need to delete everything within this folder. And the problem is if the executable is running, and it is, right here, the BM77 underscore 2324, that's running right now. So what we need to do is we cannot delete it when it's running. Right? If you can open up the task manager, I'd highly recommend you do that and go ahead and hit End Process, and then you'll be able to just simply delete that file. But if you can't open up the task managers, what you can do is you can, one, boot into safe mode and just delete all the files there while in safe mode, boot up, and then go ahead and come in and delete these. Or else, what I like to do, just hit rename. Just rename it. It doesn't matter what you rename it to. Just rename it. And when you rename it, basically when you restart your computer, it's not going to know that file to open up. It doesn't know what it is anymore. And you're also going to want to delete these other traces too as well, all the DLLs in here. Now technically, there is a registry trace that points to this file that you should remove. However, it's a benign entry. Basically, that registry trace says, hey, when your computer starts up, open up this executable. However, you already renamed that executable, and once you remove it, it's no longer going to be there. So that trace isn't going to do you any harm, and it's just better off that people don't go into the registry. Now, we do have guides on the removevirus.org website on how to edit the registry, and in the manual guide, we'll actually list the needed trace that's in the registry. So if you really want to get at it, you can. However, I don't personally recommend that most people go in and edit the registry. I've seen way too many people just mess things up. You're far better off just letting an antivirus client handle it for you. Now, at this point in time, you do need to run a full antivirus scan. Now, just to be clear here, now that we've renamed this threat and if it's currently running, so what you have to do is you have to reboot your computer, turn it off, turn it back on, then you can browse down to this file location and delete the executable. You can't delete it while it's running, but if you can bring up the task manager, you'll be able to end the process, then come here and delete the file. It's something you might have to do pretty quick, and otherwise you can try doing it in safe mode. And just a quick tidbit for everybody out there: if you're unable to bring the task manager up, sometimes the very second after you log in, after you put in your password, hit enter. If you hold down Control Shift Escape and keep hitting it, task manager may be able to open up before this threat does, and you'll be able to end that process that way. So let me go ahead and kill this off. I'm going to hit end process. Yes. And we'll notice right away that that screen went away. And it went away because we stopped it. So now in here, I should be able to delete just, quite a bit of it, not everything. Yes. Oh, looks like everything was able to be removed out of that. Sometimes the DLLs cannot be right away. Let's go ahead and delete. Yes. And now it's absolutely mandatory that you run a full scan. There's no excuse not to. It takes about 15 minutes to do. You can run a quick scan. Now, I do recommend Stopzilla for this threat and to remove any of the leftover traces for it. Works really, really well, and it works well at protecting your computer. And I'll also show you if you're infected with anything else. You can download it right here directly from the removevirus.org website. We also like Spyro Doctor with antivirus and recommend them out too as well. And for all of those who are having a whole lot of trouble and just you're ready to hire an expert and you need an expert help, I do recommend onlinecomputerrepair.org. It's a great service based out of California. It's a remote computer repair company that can remote into your computer and actually take care of this virus for you and any other viruses that are on your computer. A lot of respect for the guys over there at onlinecomputerrepair.org. Otherwise, head on over to removevirus.org, and if you're looking for a way to thank us, go ahead and just hit the Facebook like button, or else look up the guide for this threat, and just leave a message there. You know, a simple comment saying, hey, it worked, or thanks for the guide, anything. It just helps build social proof and just helps build trust so other people can see that what we're doing is legitimate. Again, our website is removevirus.org. And just so you know, if anyone were to make a purchase of the Stopzilla or Spyro Doctor with antivirus from downloading it off of our site, we do make a commission off of that. And that really goes to help us out as far as so we can create more guides and for hardware and for all the time it takes to actually search down and find these Trojans and make the guides. So that's it for this guide. I hope it helped. And just leave us your comments over on removevirus.org, and that's where you can ask any questions to as well.